everybody. Welcome to my FS25 playthrough, my first playthrough. Hopefully I'll keep doing more of these. I'm actually doing this mostly for myself. I've been playing the game. I've got several hundred hours probably in the game, and it's kind of just starting to get stagnant for me. So I thought I'd bring some folks along for the ride to kind of talk you through what I'm doing, watch what I do, how I do things. Certainly, welcome to comment with any constructive criticism you might have. If there's any kind of other challenge you may want to see on my see me play through, you're welcome to comment on that. Um, so I'm going to start my first challenge here. So this is going to be it's just going to be a playthrough. It's not going to be a big start from scratch challenge. I've done that, but to me, basically, that's just a matter of time. You can start with no land, no equipment, no money, and basically you just work contracts until you get it. So, uh, enjoyed that the first time I did it. Not really enjoyable for me anymore. So this is going to be a bit of a different challenge for me. I can't take credit for this challenge. I actually saw it on another channel. I believe Farmer Cop is the one who put this challenge out. But basically, what we're going to do, and I'm actually going to go into my F12 menu here and start myself off. So we are going to start off with a $5 million in investor capital. Um, because that's investor capital, obviously we are going to have to pay those investors back. So what we're going to do is we will track this the challenge. We are starting on the Juotca Flats map, and the reason it makes that challenging is if you guys have played this map or if you haven't, um, this is a 16x map, and you can see there aren't very many fields on this for a 16-inch map, which means these fields are huge. Um, See that field's 228, almost 229 acres, and sells for $5.5 million. Obviously, we can't afford that. So, because we've got to buy farmland, we've got to buy a field to work, and we've got to buy equipment, we're going to have to be strategic with what we buy and what we do with it. So, anyway, so we got to buy farmland, we've got to buy a field, and we've got to buy equipment. So the cheapest farmland on this map, I believe, is right here. It's farmland number 35 at $660,000. But if you can see around farmland 35, there is nothing that we can afford. There's nothing, no field that we can afford. 17.2 million there, 6.6 million there. So we would be driving, and you can't necessarily tell it from this view, but it is a long way to drive around to the fields that we could afford. So I believe our best option and what we're going to do is we're going to buy farmland number 56 because we're going to need a farmyard. And starting this challenge off, we're going to need a place to sleep. So we're just going to go ahead and buy that for $807,000. And then that leaves us a choice. We can buy this farmland, 142 acres, for $3.4 million. We can buy this farmland, 143 acres, for $3.9 million. We are actually going to buy this field at $3.4 million. That field has wheat planted in it, which will be good because we could actually, wheat will be easy to harvest. Anyway, we're going to buy that. We're going to save ourselves $50,000 or $42,000, because the very next thing we're going to need is a place to sleep. Jump back into the map here. I'm going to go visit our farmland so that when I get in the construction menu, it puts me in the right spot. So we get into the construction menu. We're going to go here and buy the absolute cheapest farmhouse on the place. This little manufactured home here for $55,000, and we are going to stick that puppy right there. Now we will do some work on this farmland and make it a much nicer place to be as we go along. But right now, we ain't got that much money. As you can see, we got $744,000 in the bank, and we just plopped $55,000 of it down on our farmland. So, for all intents and purposes, we're broke because it is costly to run a farm this size. So, again, that's got wheat in it, and we're going to take a look at. I think we started this in August. We did start in August, which means wheat is going to be ready to harvest. Now, bad part about that is, I'm going to look there, and yes, our wheat field is ready to harvest. So, um, we obviously don't have any harvesting equipment, and we are not going to be able to just outright buy any harvest equipment on any equipment. So we're going to have to be a little bit strategic about it. So we're going to go into the first thing I do is go into the used market and see what we might be able to find. And that is a nice AF11 case tractor. It's got a lot of our case combine, got a lot of hours on it. It's 60% off. And it's a small header. It'd take forever and a day to harvest that field with that header. Can we finance used equipment? We can. We could finance that thing for I don't think we can do 6 months. We could finance it for 2 years at 10% down. $13,000 a month, and he just pays us over here. Repayment. How much does that cost us up front? And I think we got to do it. I'm going to do it. So I just picked up the case combine, financed it. We are hyper focused right now on getting field harvested, and that price is just, you can't hardly pass that combine up. We're going to have to do some repair on it because I'm actually looking to see if there's a header in the used equipment that will fit that combine. I am not seeing one. Scrolling through here, a lot of equipment that I'm passing up on that I would love to have, but so that's what's going to make this challenge tough. Is one, we've got the investors to worry about. Although, like I said, the investors get paid if we make a profit, so they'll be content for a couple of years, but eventually they're going to want to see us turn profit. Keep scrolling through here, and there is not a combine head, so I'm actually wondering if I've already, for lack of a better term, screwed the pooch. That's an 8.5 meter header to 150 acre field. That's insane. I don't think we can do that. So the other thing I'm kind of scrolling through here, I'm just going to scroll through this stuff. I'm trying to see if maybe there's a grain card. So what do we got up here? These Vent tractors are very weekend tractors. Pretty high on hours. I wonder if I can get that. That's almost 4 horsepower. That's only $7,900 to upgrade that to a 996 horsepower tractor. So we may be off to a bit of a better start than I thought. Tires and blades. Boy, I love those black beauty tractors, but I'm not going to pop $7,500 to. Man, I love that. I think I'm going to go with standard here because $7,000 for black tires and blades. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to we do with financing, so there's $9,300 if I do that for 10 years. And that puts my payments already over 20 grand a month. Some of the stuff we may buy outright, but a lot of this we may. That's an auger wagon. That would work for a tipper wagon. 60,000 liter capacity. It's got 10 hours on it. What else we got down here? We've got anything. What is that? 82. So I'll probably buy a timber wagon. We must have that. Gotta get a header and a header trailer. Is that that is the big header trailer? Just gonna buy that big header trailer. You're gonna need a header trailer. CR11 there for 36 horsepower. Sniff that. Oh, keep going, keep going, keep going. What do we got? What is that? Is that a manure spreader? That's what I thought. Okay. We're going to be starting off with slim pickings on the equipment until we can harvest this wheat, which we're obviously going to do right off of the bat. We already got a tractor. We're going to need none of that. Need none of that. Keep scrolling through. What do I need? I need a header. Excuse me. I need a header. I need a wagon. So let's go down here. Let's find the combine. Let's find that big honking case combine. Whoop, too many clicks. Combinations. Let's see what that would work with. $144,000 for that header. It doesn't list it as a combination, but if I'm not mistaken, that header will work, although it's not very wide. Again, 15.2 meters, man. That's what we're going to have on that thing. That's almost as much as we're paying for the combine. I don't know that we got any choice because they're the one in the used market, so. I do have a mod on here. So one of the few quote unquote cheating mods. Are you kidding me? That some bitch comes to transport me. I pissed away money on that header trailer lost on my back. I'll get most of what I paid for it. And we're gonna finance this one too. We're gonna be financed to the teeth. It's alright. So let me get out of here. Vehicles. So let's do $16,000 trailer back since I don't need it. So the first thing we're gonna do is so we're using the head tracking here, so let me take a second to get the head tracking adjusted. Need it. Header back there, so we're cruising around here and get a header hooked up. I have auto drive set up, but and this map does default some auto drive routes, but until you go and make the connections in your auto drive, you can't really use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the map. We are going to find ourselves on that combine there. Find that combine, damn it. Find that combine. We're going to select our destination. Let's see how the AI does. We're going to put that combine right there, and I don't care which direction it's facing. That's all. Okay. All right, we're going to get back out of here. Things should go soon. We're going to get back into the used market. Sorry, we're going to get into the used market. We're going to get back in here, and we are going to find us a header or a tipper wagon. 28,000 liters, 100 140 acre field is going to, that's probably 500,000 liters. That's the biggest wagon. It's 100 grand. 47,000 liters. That's 46,000 liters. 47,000. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this Templar wagon, and I think we're just going to buy it. That's the cheapest option I've seen. Changing it with so that I'm going to change the paint color to red just because I don't like the green. I'm going to leave the extension on there for $5 grand. Why in the cat hair is that thing not going? Destination. Target. Okay, I can't turn the steering wheel, so the AI worker got control of it, at least for now. Alright, you know what? Stuff it. Cancel that job. Back to control. What's going to be our easiest? We'll go out and turn right, and we just go straight to our farmland. So let's do that. Tractor. Tipper wagon. So I am using some head tracking, guys, so you'll notice that. Hopefully that doesn't bother anybody. I had been using the quick camera, and I actually kind of like that app, but Zoom doesn't work very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom right out here, speaking of Zoom, and we're going to turn our auto drive on, and we're going to straight out that way. We're going to turn the waypoints on. Let's go to the header. Let's go to the user settings. Let's put that above the tractor so it's easier to see. Yep, let's turn that on, and from here, we're going to run a two-way auto drive route out here to the road. Maybe that last waypoint, there we go. So we'll turn that on. We will for some reason my curve doesn't want to work. But anyway, we're going to set that up from both directions, and I'm going to head on to the farm. This is actually a pretty nice tractor for this because it's fast. Very fast. You can see at 900 horsepower, it's going to truck right on along at 65 miles an hour, which is nice on a map this size. So let's make sure that this thing for some really interesting driving. But we will see for now. Now we start the long road down to the farm, but it is going to be a long jaunt down here. Going to get through the center section, take a little jaunt out this way, and we will. Yeah, I'll set up a lot of these as two-way routes just in case I feel the need to change them, in case I feel the need to push them in both ways. So what I'm going to do is, rather than sending that harvester all the way to the farm, which doesn't really matter at this point if it's right there, I'm just going to send it right here to field 52. Truck our little tractor right out here. And rejoin that. We'll set up all those other joins later, but we're going to move the tractor over here. Get in the harvester, and we are going to send the harvester to field 52. And I will catch you guys once the harvester gets to field 52. So I will spend a lot of time, probably, at least at first, browsing the interesting. I bought that exact same harvester for that exact same money. Oh, interesting. My harvester's got 0.1 hours on it. Which means you can't finance used equipment. My tractor's got 0.1 hours on it. It's worth $331,000. Oh, something to keep in mind there, Mr. Fendog, is you cannot finance used equipment. Wow. I run auto loading for bales, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I hate loading bales. It is not enjoyable for me in this game, and again, I play this game for fun, so I'm going to do it the way it's fun for me. So hopefully that doesn't bother too many people. If it does, maybe this isn't the channel for you. Maybe these aren't the videos for you. But from my standpoint, I grew up in rural Oklahoma. I have loaded hay bales on a trailer with a front loader and bale spike, and I do not feel the need to prove I can do it in a video game. So that's that. So few cheaty mods, like I said, and I try not to do anything real cheaty. I don't turn the seasons off. I mean, I can turn the seasons off and basically just print money. I don't like to do that. I don't use any of the cheat mods that fix the prices or anything. I could run a mod that gives me the same price throughout the year. Basically, sets the price at the max price throughout the year, and no matter when I sell, I get the best price. So. Obviously that mod would be an immense help on this playthrough, because I'm about to start, I'm going to harvest this wheat field, and I don't have any place to store wheat. Although I got $450,000, frankly, I could buy a grain silo if I really wanted to. But I'm situated here where I can kind of see, and it's kind of a pleasant viewing angle maybe for the folks watching. And we are going to get lined up. We are going to unfold I don't want to unfold the damn header. unfold the harvester. Get the harvester selected, get that unfolded, lower the header, get things lined up, turn the header on, and well, let's cut some hay. So I'm going to cut in here. Already a little on the drunk side. Oh. Turn the straw swath on, Dan. And then, one of my absolute favorite things in FS25 is the steering assist. That's set at one headland, but I don't really know. I'm on locked steering and we are off and running. Let's do some harvesting. I could have jumped out and checked what kind of yield we were getting on this field. Maybe we didn't plant it or anything. Oh, so here we go. You'll see there's the extreme speed mod. Crank it up and we are going to harvest at about 24 miles an hour. So hopefully it won't take a ridiculous amount of time. We'll turn all these HUDs off because I don't need those. And here we go. Month 1, year 1. And we are harvesting, and it is going to take a long time. Or sorry, it is not going to take a long time. This harvester to fill up. It looks like we are going to get about 1 pass per harvester. No, we may not even get 1 pass per harvester. But I did see the harvester is 18,000 liters. And we're there. Oh, sorry, my mistake is 20,000 liters. Oh Lord, we're gonna have to think about that. We got crop destruction on. I actually completely forgot to go through the settings, so I'm just sorry for those of you who don't like this right now, but crop destruction will be the first thing I turn off. In fact, I'm just gonna go into the settings right now. We'll kind of discuss what I do for settings. So one of the settings I do, and I'm gonna do it right now, is I turn all this off. That way my AI workers use the consumables that are in the implement. So I'm going to turn crop destruction off. I'm going to leave periodic plowing off. I'm going to turn fieldstone off because I hate fieldstone. I don't plow much anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Lime required will leave on. Weeds will leave on. Disaster destruction will leave enabled. Not really anything I need to change that. Field tank limit on off. Stop and go braking. I actually like that sometimes. So I'm going to turn these off. I don't really normally use those. So we do have a mod on here where we use up our tires. So that's something we'll have to consider as the game goes on. Seasonal growth we're going to leave on. 1 day per month we're going to leave on. Fixed visual month we're going to leave off. I am going to turn snow off because on these 16x maps, I don't know if it's just my memory. I got 32 gigs of memory, but the snow really kills the frame rate. So. All right, and away we go. So this may take us a bit of time, but we are going to take you guys along with it, at least for the first couple of trailer loads here. So could put this guy on an auto drive and have him sit and stand by, and when the harvester gets close to full, you just stick the pipe out and the auto drive kicks in, and this guy will come and unload your combine. But for now, we're going to run it manually. There's some other challenge ideas that or not necessarily challenge ideas, some other playthrough ideas. One actually is pretty interesting, where you run the farm much more like a business, including calculating payroll taxes and all that stuff. But the playthrough I'm thinking there would actually require me to hire some workers. So if we get into that, we may get into that. You know, if you guys enjoy that, we'll do a playthrough on that too. But like I said, I'm just doing these playthroughs, kind of playing the game the way I like to play it, and really just playing the game, not doing anything fancy or specific. You know, as I play through this game and sit here and talk into this microphone and record these sessions, this really adds to my engagement in the game and my enjoyment of the game. So again, you know, I'm doing this for me because this is much more enjoyable for the game. Like I said, it's getting kind of stagnant. So here we go. We are off and running. We're still in August. We spent $4.5 million, and basically we own a tipper wagon, a baler, and what else did we? A seeder. And that's pretty much it. So I'm actually just going to skip the header rows because one of the things about this map is there is plenty of room on each end of this map. You guys can see we're already at 8,000 liters again. Oh man, so we are going to get a ton, and like I said, I've already got the trailer half full, so the next load here is going to fill the trailer up, and then we're going to figure out where to dump it. We're going to go sell this hay. Oh, we're going to miss the tractor. Oh, we are not going to miss the tractor. Yikesy. Good thing there's no collision damage in this game. Like the $500,000 harvester. I'll tell you what we may think about doing. We may think about, I got $450,000. Whoop, hello. I got $450,000. We could pick up another tractor and get it started picking up straw. I don't know how that's going to work because I'd have to hire a worker to do that, which wouldn't be a problem other than obviously I have to stop every time the combine needs to be unloaded, and no telling how long we're going to have to wait for this thing to now I'm going to need to figure out, I guess I'm going to start the AI worker, although as you guys can see, it is not going to take very long. First thing let's do is let's go see where we can sell this. Yeah, how far away is that sell point? It's probably a long ways. Prices. I don't know that I'm going to be really choosy about prices. Oh my Lord, we are going to Jiminy Christmas. We're going to take the shorts here. Animal breeding. Getting a lot better prices. All right, let's see where that place is at. Oh, look at that. It's right there. That is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Look at the other place just for kicks and giggles. 13,000. For a reason on this of it, it is more than twice as far. So let's see what this place is at. It's obviously not too much farther than we're looking at. So it's just around there. So man, I'm really 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Which one I want? It's a straight shot there. So I want to take it over here. Which one will give us the best price? I mean, it's a straight shot down there. It is a straight shot down there. Okay. Which was getting us the best price. The animal breeding was getting us the best price by $7 per 1,000 liters. You know what? That's what we're going to take it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get this in there. We're going to get our AI back on. We're going to switch that to an AI worker. We don't want any header rows. We're going to turn work the headlights off. I don't know if it will. I think it will start in the middle. Right. Let's go dump a load of. Go dump a load of wheat. 40,000 liters of wheat. See what we get for that. What are we going to get for that? About $8,000. Over $8,000. Yeah. Oop. Drunk guy in the tractor. I hate these little signs on this map. That is maybe the only knock I have with this map are those stupid little signs in the middle of the road. Because if you put a large implement on auto drive, it catches on one of those things every stinking time. Interesting, that intersection had all the stuff linked around to it. Outside the cab here. Let's get our view going there. Whoops. Oh, let's get our auto drive HUD up. And then I think. Yeah, where's the runway? So we're going to turn in here, and it looks like there's our dumps trigger right there. Dump trigger right there. Oh, I kind of made a wide swing out there. Okay, there's our dump trigger. Dump our wheat. Let's see what we get for our wheat. Wow. Apparently I can't math at all. We got $11,000. I was expecting $8,000. Okay, so we make a little. So we are going to make us a trigger right here, and we are going to call it animal brain dump, because I don't remember what the name of that place was. But we're going to truck it right out back here. Give ourselves a plenty wide berth since we can't. Let's turn off our recorder, and back we go. And if I had any sense at all, I wonder if I can get it to field 52. So we'll go there. Okay. Yep, that's what I thought. We are full up. This is going to be an exercise in patience. We almost need 2 wagons running. We don't almost need 2 wagons running. We do need 2 wagons running, but trying to maximize some profits here. What are we slowing down for? Actually, one of the cool things of you guys that play often, you know, there's a course play mod. Actually would have backed this combine out, right? And had to drive in. That's going to be a huge deal because cultivating this field is going to be a massive endeavor. And we can't plant grass unless we cultivate the field. Holy mackerel, hell is that thing doing? Are you kidding me? It's practically full. It's dumping. That arrow backwards. What in the cat hair is going on here? Can't get there. How can you not get there? Well, I'm in Italy, which means one of these intersections is not connected. So we get to go figure out which one it is. That one looks like it's connected. Golly, we're screwing around with this field harvesting. What appeared to be connected. Whatever the disconnect is, it's still in front of us. You're welcome. Get my AI settings back up here. Wait, no, what it was doing what it was supposed to do. I don't know why the hell it was headed back that way, but hopefully that made you feel better. All right, off we go again until we can figure out where this auto connect is not connected. I am going to want auto connect to work for this. Oh, you know what? I bet when I click that button, I don't get it. But I got it. This auto drive. Okay, so whatever it is. It's out here. Okay, so here we are. Can't get there. I got it. Yep, okay. Another $11,000. Okay, so no need to keep that on, so I did not, again, set another waypoint, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. It's just taking too long to get the tractor down to the silo. Plus, you know, we don't have to sell all of this stuff. We're not hurting for money right now. We've got what we need to do to continue on with this field. Let's go see what we can get silo for. Construction, sheds, silos, 60,000. Really, that's 400,000 liters for. Oh yeah, for I was thinking 15 or 16. And that might make the most sense. 800,000 liters. I'd like to have that silo, but I don't know. That's going to put us down to 300 grand. I just don't know that. So I don't know where to put this silo. Make sure it's lined up so I got this real straight. And I think we're just going to put it here on the other side of the farm. I'm going with the $147,000 one. Because that's the kind of people I am. Again, I'm not really sure how much. If this works with just the regular AI driving, it sure enough does. You know what I completely forgot about with the regular AI? It's actually going along at a decent speed, isn't it? I'll be damned, it worked. So that, boys and girls, is the Vehicle Speed Sync app, and I'll be danged if it didn't work. Of course, now you just got to drive in a straight line. It's getting late. It's about midnight my time. So work day, school night, whatever you want to call it. final tally, 722,000 liters of wheat, plus the 90,000-ish, maybe not quite 90,000 liters that we, and we'll call it 80,000 liters, that we dumped, that we sold. That's going to be our harvest. We're just going to, so we don't really obviously have a place to put our equipment right now, so we're just going to park it here in the field. We're going to take a look and see. So it looks like January. It's August, and January is the best time to sell our wheat. So, where I say 722 times 407, we'll have to do the math on that. Anyway, we are going to, I believe, call it a night right here. I will catch up with you guys in the next episode where I will pick up the baler and start baling some straw, and then we'll figure out a plan going forward. Hope you guys enjoyed the first installment here. See you in the next episode. All right, everyone, here we are. We have just finished up baling the straw on the field. We finished up the wheat harvest a little earlier. Ended up with somewhere around 800,000 liters of wheat. We'll come in here and we're going to take a minute to save the game here. But we'll come in here real quick and we'll take a look at our time-saving stock check. I downloaded that mod actually since we last left because I wanted to be able to jump in there so you guys can see. We have 722,000 liters of wheat in our silo. If we sold that right now, that would net us about 400, a little over 400 grand. If we wait till max price, which I believe is in max month is in January. So if we wait till January, we're going to make about another $130,000. So we're going to try to do that. So but you guys will also see that we have 3.1 million liters of straw. 3.1 million liters of straw. And I'm actually going to jump out here and I'm going to go into flight mode. Flight mode on. Well, maybe. There we go. Go into flight mode and we will just take a cruise over this field. We ended up with somewhere right around 200 bales of straw, and you guys can actually see that, wow, I had no idea my baler was leaving that kind of straw behind. Some of these big piles where the harvester stopped I knew was leaving behind, but had no idea my baler was leaving that kind of straw behind. Hell, I probably left, hell, that might be 3 or 4 bales. When it's all said and done. But as you guys can see, we have a ton of bales here. I will confess that I changed balers. I started baling with the John Deere baler that you guys saw me buy, and to say that that was slow would be the understatement of the year. So it was going to take hours to harvest that field with that baler, and I just wasn't going to do it. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, I play this game for fun, so you'll see me use some mods that you could call quality of life mods. I will call them game enjoyment mods. So what I have here is the Pro Bale, the fast Pro Bale. So this does a couple of things. One, obviously it runs fast, so I was able to set the tractor to run. Probably a lot of that straw you saw left is after I sped it up. I sped it up to about 30 miles an hour to harvest that field, but for most of the field I ran it at about 25 miles an hour. I left it at the standard pickup size, although that gets a little tedious driving right down those rows of straw. So I may increase that a little bit. I don't know how much I can increase it. I'll have to send this thing back take this thing back to the shop and check that out. I won't reset it because that resets my bale net and my Ranny wrap. So anyway, so I have the Lizard Quick Bale. Like I said, a couple of things this thing does. One, it runs much faster. It runs at a higher mile per hour. You can set it to run at 25 miles an hour, which I did. The other thing it does is this does not stop to unload a round bale. So one of my big pet peeves with round balers, and that's just the way they are, is they stop to unload the bale, which, you know, you're cruising along, you got to stop for 15 seconds to drop a round bale, and that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you start to do that 200 times, that adds a significant amount of time to the harvest. So this just continues on. It's got a what it's called a pre-chamber. So uh, while it's kicking the full bale out, it's filling up the pre-chamber, and then it kicks that into the main chamber, and then it'll kick it out and wrap it. And obviously, I'm baling straw, so I wasn't wrapping anything. I can't turn straw into silage, so can't do anything there. But again, 3.1 million, almost 3.2 million dollars. It doesn't say on here how much how many bales I have, but I reset the baler at one point because I ran out of bale net, and I thought I needed to go back to the shop to get bale net, but as it turns out on this baler, I don't have to. I can just refill it. So anyway, I reset it, which reset the bale counter. I don't remember where I was at, somewhere around 150, 160 bales, somewhere in there. But we've got a ton of bales out on the field. So um, just wanted to bring you guys in for an update where we're at. Like I said, so we got 722,000 liters of wheat. We're going to hold on to that until January, when we will sell it. We will actually sell our straw. Um, wow, I didn't realize that the straw price was going to fluctuate that much. It'll go up all the way to $89. So I'd make another $60,000 off of the straw, man. That's almost too much money to pass up on. So I may hang on to this straw. I may just go get the trailer. I did buy a trailer. I got the trans truck on sale. I think I paid like 12 or $18,000 for it. I forget how much I paid for it. So we can go look at the financials. Maybe that'll tell me. No, because it groups all the new vehicle purchases in together. So I got $41,000 worth of new vehicles there, but I don't know what that was. I've only bought the one vehicle, and I swear I did not pay $41,000 for that trailer. Unless, man, is there some kind of weird upgrade that comes on that trailer that I wasn't paying any attention to? Look at the where we got balers, transport, tech truck. Well, that can't be right because I only paid. Hmm, did I buy something else that I'm not thinking about? Bought the Pro Bale, but that was I actually bought that in August. I bought it in the middle of the night in August. Huh. I have no idea what what that other vehicle is. What else did I buy? That's really going to irritate me now. Look here. So, didn't buy anything there. Obviously, didn't buy a new tractor. Do anything with the plow. Do anything with the seeder. Do anything with the harvester or the header. Bought the truck and that's roughly what I paid for it, 12,000 and change. Bought the Pro Bale. I have no idea. I have no idea what that extra vehicle purchase cost is. None whatsoever. Also have no idea what that is. I haven't made any adjustments to the... Well, maybe I can go look at... So I have a mod that... I have a mod that... it's a transaction mod that spits out a CSV file of all the transactions for a month, but it only does it, when the month rolls over. So we're going to take a look at that when that comes out and see what I did there. But at any rate, jump in the tractor, and I don't think I have the shop marked. Of course not. So, tell you what, I don't normally do this, but I'm really not in the mood to drive that tractor back to the shop to get that trailer, so we'll reset it and send that back to the send that back to the shop. We're going to get the trailer. We're going to drive the trailer over here to the field, and we're going to start picking up some straw bales. And I actually had planned to sell the straw bales right now, but $60,000 may have me waiting until January. I got $168,000 in the bank, so that's the other thing I was going to look at. What are my... Oh, okay. That $41,000 includes the finance payments on the vehicles. That's what it is. So I bought the trailer for $12,000, so I got about $28,000 in. Okay, now it makes sense. That includes the payments on the vehicles that I financed. Okay, now I'm happy. Now I figured that out. So the next thing I'm going to do, just for giggles, before I go get the trailer, is so 90 to, just say I get the best price in January, and $70 right now. So the farmer's market or the animal breeding. The animal breeding actually isn't very far from us. Oh, that's interesting. Why couldn't I tag that? Okay. Oh, so it's right there, right by where we were, it's right where we sold the wheat. So, okay. Well, that's actually awesome because we've already got auto drive going there. So, anywho, let's jump in the tractor. You guys can see we actually got a couple other things in here. Y'all were with me when I bought the seeder and when I bought the cultivator, which as soon as we get the straw picked up, we will jump on the cultivator. Get that field cultivated, and we are going to plant alfalfa. And I've been debating about that. I had been debating about that. I had thought maybe I had actually come up with a plan. I was going to plant alfalfa, and then I thought, well, I'm going to get a lot of money for the straw, so maybe I won't plant alfalfa. But if that field produced 3 million liters of straw, it's going to produce an asinine amount of alfalfa. So that alfalfa is going to be a massive payday for us. Now, it does come with a trade-off because cutting and baling alfalfa is a lot of work. And we're going to have to have a mower to do it. And the thing about it is, man, if you don't have a windrowing mower, then you got to have a windrower, which isn't a big deal. Windrowers aren't terribly expensive. It's another pass over that gigantic field, which is just time. It's time. And not necessarily in-game time, because that doesn't really matter in-game time. I mean, in-game time you can set it to whatever you want it to and mosey on along, but gameplay time, that's where it starts to affect you. Where it starts to affect me, because again, I only have a certain amount of time to play this game. So I'm gonna I'm going to truck it on over to the field. I'm going to get this straw picked up. I guess I'm going to stage it. I'm going to store it at the farm, which thankfully is just right across the street. So hopefully that'll speed things up, and then we'll hang on to all this stuff until January and sell it all off and make a profit. So we got $28,000. We got to pay that payment for. We paid it for September. We got to pay October, November, and December. So that's going to be about $80,000. We got $168,000. Well, if we don't spend anything else, although we are going to have some seed. Whoops. The other thing I've got to look at, maybe I can just do it while I'm going down the road here, is do these fields need... Where is our field? So we are in luck that our field does not need lime. Oop, driving on the wrong side of the road. That's actually really, really good news. It doesn't need to be limed. Obviously, it's going to have to be fertilized. It's got to be fertilized every time. But not needing lime is huge. Huge for us right now, because obviously we're doing this on limited funds right now, which is what I wanted. You know, I started this challenge because I didn't want it to be easy. I wanted to have to, strategize and think and plan and build and decide, do I need to take a $60,000 loss on straw because I need to sell it right now because I need the cash, or can I afford to wait till January? Probably for $60,000. I mean, if we were talking about $10,000, I'd probably just sell the straw. But for $60,000, if worse came to worse, I would actually just take out a loan to make our equipment payments, because the interest on that loan wouldn't be nearly $60,000. So I would take out a loan to pay our equipment payments, and then when January, when I sell everything off, I would just pay the loan off and move on with my life, fat, happy, and dumb. So here we are. We're going to get this, and again, I think I told you guys this before. I will tell you again, unapologetically. I use auto load for bales. I just do. Like I said, I have in real life loaded bales. I don't feel the need to prove that I can do it. So I'm actually interested. So one thing about this baler that I've got, and I don't know that I mentioned this. So these are 15,000 liter bales. They don't look like 15,000 liter bales because they're actually small bale in size. But guys, I couldn't do. I think the largest standard bale size is 5,000 liters. I couldn't do 5,000 liters. I mean, that would be 3 times as many bales. And I'm already eating up a ton of my game time, a ton of my play time here with these. So it's actually going to be interesting to see how many bales this trailer holds, and I'm going to be zigzagging around like a drunk monkey here picking these bales up. So I don't know if this is more efficient than going row by row by row, but anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how many bales this trailer holds. I think in standard size round bales it holds 34. So one thing about this is the trailer only concerns itself with the actual size of the bale. The volume is irrelevant to the trailer. It doesn't see the volume. So these are 133 meter round bales that we're picking up here. So we're just gonna go through and pick as many of them up as we can get on the trailer, and then we'll take them over to the farm and dump them. But again, this should give us some better quality of life is what we'll call it, some game enjoyment. This is a game enjoyment mod, not a... You guys can call it cheaty if you want to, and if it's not your thing, don't do it. You know, just like I said, I play this game the way that I enjoy to play it. So, and so unapologetically, I will use auto load to load these bales, and yeah, that's how it is. So. Alright, so I think that's the last one. I don't think it'll stack more than 2 high, but just for shits and giggles, we'll drive by one more bale. Yep, that's what I thought. So, we will strap up here. Why aren't my straps going? Alright, let's turn. There we go. Just had to turn the loading off. Now we got straps. We will take these over to the farm and see if we can find a place to set them down. Leave them sit for a few months. Plus, if we get silage planted on this field today, like I intend to, we should be able to September. We may not be able to harvest silage before the end of the year. And if we can harvest it before the end of the year, we'll be ready to sell before the end of the year. So, in the interest of not driving all over a 1.5 acre, I am just going to drop these bales right here. So we will unstrap them, make sure our unload side is set to the right because that's where I want them, and we will unload those bad boys. Here we go. Hurdy as you please. All right, boys and girls, there you have it. 211 15,000 liter bales of straw. So it didn't take us long to pick it up. Took us just over 6 loads. 6 loads and 7 bales. So there it is. 211 bales of straw. So jump ourselves back in the tractor and we'll pull the tractor over here with everything else. We're gonna have to think about getting some kind of equipment shed because I don't want to keep all this stuff sitting outside the whole time. So, but that's for down the road. Right now, we got to go get a cultivator. So we're gonna truck this puppy back down to the shop. It'll be a bit of a drive, and we are going to get us a cultivator. Oh, checked our head tracking all up there. That's all right. Whoop, hit the right pedal, dummy. There is our plow. We are going to send this guy over to field 52, and we're going to take a look just for giggles and see if anything has come on the used market that we feel like we can't live without. To be honest with you, I'm not enamored with the cedar that we have. I'm just not enamored with the cedar that we have. Something else we're going to have to consider as I look at that weeder is we're going to have a weeder. Or we're going to have some way to treat weeds. Probably our best option there is going to be a sprayer. There was a sprayer in here. Let's see what all we got going here. I'm scrolling through too fast. Nothing there. Don't need a baler. Really don't need a 4-meter wide seeder. Got to take us a year and a half to seed that field. Not a bad price on that mower, and we're gonna need a mower. 8 meters, man, that's not gonna get it done. So honestly, when we get this field planted in alfalfa and we get ready to mow it, we're gonna have to have something like the MacDon. We're gonna have to have something that's got some width and some speed, or it will take forever to mow those fields. Well, what a cat hair, 24 meters wide, but only holds 1,200 liters. That's not gonna work. Oh, 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 oh. 17 hours. Interesting. So this has the capacity upgrade, but not the width upgrade. This is just a multi-fruit planter, so it's got some capacity. There's an unrealistic mod for this that you can get up to like 50 meters, which I'm not looking to do that. I'm looking to kind of keep this in there. But this is a multi-fruit seeder. It will plant anything. I don't know if we can, in good conscience, not pull the trigger on this. What's it, $87,000? Frankly, it would almost be a wash. Go standard capacity, just to not get it too far out of line. Yeah, I think we got to have this. I think we got to buy it. And the reason is we're at $82,000 for that. It's a little, what have we got going on here? Get on out of my way, dude. So we need to get back in here. We need to get in our garage. We need to go here. We're on a net zero on this, basically. I mean, maybe that cost us a few $100. I don't know the exact amount we paid for. It was 82 and change. So $300,000 is cheap. All right, boys and girls. Here we go. We are going to get kicked off on this unfold this pig. Get in our field there. Let's get our steering assist lines up. Yeah. All good there. Drop that sucker down. Lock that on. Say I'm not doing it. All right, here we are. $10,000 worth of seed and fertilizer loaded into our new seeder here, which so I got the field cultivated. Drove the tractor over to the shop to pick up the seeder. I'm pulling in, admiring this brand new beautiful seeder. It dawns on me that I bought a direct drill seeder, which means, for those of you playing along at home probably already guessed it, I didn't have to cultivate the field. The seeder doesn't require the field to be cultivated. So anyway, it is cultivated. It's very pretty. So Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do a headland on this field. So I'm going to hire a worker to, I went around the corner. I'm going to hire a worker to start seeding this field with alfalfa. And we're going to go do some farm business. So while I was at the shop, I was browsing around. But I wanted to get back over here and get the worker straightened out and get the worker lined out and pointed in the right direction and working on this field. But anyway, as I was browsing around the shop, they have a used sprayer in the shop. And while we don't really need a sprayer right now, it's at such a good price, and we will need a sprayer. I don't think alfalfa requires herbicide. I guess I'll see. But it will require a second fertilizer application. So obviously the seeder will put the first layer of fertilizer down. Then the sprayer will put down the second layer of fertilizer. So we did also put down a seed station and a liquid fertilizer station on the farm. Oh, you know what? Let me get over here. Remember in my settings to get this stuff turned. Okay, I do have all that stuff turned off. So it uses the stock in the seeder, which is what we want. And there he goes. Turn on some speed here. All right, so we will buy a sprayer for $20,000 and be happy about it. Wanna just do a little washing on our equipment because, as I understand it, leaving the equipment dirty does cause it to break down faster. So we're going to get some equipment washed here. We're going to get a field planted, and then we will catch you guys up when we're done with all that. We're back. It's December, and we have got a lot of work to do to close out year one. So you guys can see we're standing here on top of the 3.1 million liters of straw we harvested. We've got just over 700,000 liters of wheat in the harvester in the silo right over there. And it is almost time to sell. In fact, it is time to sell this straw. So we were going to wait till January when the price is the best. However, the price in January is $1 more per 1,000 liters, which will net us barely over $1,000 difference of the cost. So we're not going to wait on that. On top of the corn, on top of the straw, we have got 120 acres of alfalfa to harvest. It is ready to harvest here in December, so we are going to put a cut on it, get that baled and wrapped, and stick that away to ferment, and we are going to have a buttload of silage to sell come sometime around March, when hopefully we will get a second cut off of this field. But you guys can see, here is our alfalfa. It doesn't even show us the growth stage. It is just in the ready to harvest stage. So we got 121.78 acres of alfalfa to harvest. We got to cut it, windrow it, and bale it. And actually, we're going to combine that first step because, well, for one, we don't have a boat. So we're going to have some kind of equipment to harvest this field. And given the size of this field and the length of time it's going to take us anyway, it took us over an hour to bale the straw on this field, which means basically going to take us the same amount of time to cut the alfalfa and then to bale the alfalfa. So we have got our work cut out for us. But we're going to go buy some new equipment, and you guys can look up in the top right corner there and see we don't have any money. In fact, we kind of screwed the pooch a little bit between November and December because I got a little carried away and I hit the button to advance the month before I realized that I did not have enough money in my account to cover the vehicle loan payments, the vehicle financing payments. So we incurred a 10% charge. There, yippee skippy on that. So car heads in here, and we're gonna So we're looking at 135,000 and 97,000. So we're looking at $232,000 to buy that MacDon. And we will actually get more than that from the sale of our straw. I really was kind of hoping to get the MacDon. You know what? I'm just going to do that. I'm going to go to the finances. I'm going to get the money to buy that MacDon. That MacDon bought. I'm going to get it over to that field down at the down at the farm store earlier. Talking to a kid down there who's on Christmas break and looking for a way to earn some money to buy some Christmas presents. So I told him I had we're just going to take 250 here. 250 million. Yep, 250. That's what we're going to take. And then we're going to get back in that store. And we're going to buy the MacDon. Need to change anything. $170,000 is what I need. That I need $262,000. Don't need to know that I need 262 horsepower mower. We're gonna buy the base model there at 173 horsepower. Click that before we change our minds. We got that. Back out of that. We're just gonna buy the new header. No sense in buying a brand new machine and a used header. You have transport wheels. So we want that stuff to rock right off the 15 miles an hour. I'll disable that speed anyways. And even 100 grand, so that was 235,000. That leaves us with 20 grand, which won't pay our vehicle payments for the month, but it doesn't matter because we're going to sell some straw. Whoop. So apparently forgot to turn on my head tracker. Last one. Alright, first thing let's get in here. I think it's Control B that turns this. Maybe not. How do we turn the steering around? Change driving direction. Left shift B. Oh, are you kidding me? I just got a notification that it found matching equipment, and if that's the MacDon, I'm gonna vomit. I am just gonna. Of course it is. $48,000 I could have paid for that thing with 23 hours on it. I could have gotten both of them for less than half of what I just paid for that new one. And you know what? $114,000 and $85,000. We're going to take a pretty good loss on that. We're going to take a $15,000 loss on both of them. So we're going to take a $30,000 loss. Screw it. We're just going to keep it. All right. So I got the driving direction turned around. For those of you who don't know, you can do that. You can turn that around, and I've really had a struggle with this the first time I ever used this MacDon because I did not for the life of me figure out how to hook the trailer up. I knew you had to be able to do it, but you have to change the driving direction. You have to turn it around like this. The catcher and the MacDon is in the front of it. So get it up there, get that puppy up, and we are going to set the school kid out over here to drive over to the field. Yep, he is headed that way. We are going to jump out. We don't need the harvester. We need the tractor. Get out of here. Oh, we are already hooked up to the trailer. Look at that. We can use that. Oh, how do you like that? Cool. We are hooked up to the trailer, so we are going to get busy selling some straw, baby. Basically what we're going to do, we're going to sell off this straw. We are going to basically pay off that $200,000 loan we just took on that MacDon. Oh, hello. Carried away there. There it is, loaded. So let's check where we are going with this. Actually, I think I know where we're going. Something else I wanted to check. So, alfalfa windrow, we get $89 a bale. Alfalfa hay, we get $112 a bale. And I wonder, I guess it does not differentiate. So I planted alfalfa because I think it will yield more than regular grass. I may be wrong about that. And if I am, then but I guess that you don't differentiate between silage and alfalfa silage, which is fine. So we're I mean $219,000. It's already at $223,000. But silage doesn't fluctuate that much, so we will probably just sell the silage as soon as it's ready. Anyway, back over here because I didn't look at the hay. Hay. Selling hay. What the name is some straw. Selling straw. Straw selling for $83 a bale at the animal breeding, which I believe is the one that's just right down our farmyard where we sold the first couple of loads of wheat that we sold and found out it was right there. So I actually have to get myself up above here. I didn't sell shit. Oh yeah, that was interesting. $42,000 just paid for that load straw. $42,000. I'm about to sell another one. Well, now how the hell is that? $42,000 for the first 28 bales and 110 for the last. What the hell? Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Huh. Anyway, $42,000 per trailer load, and we are going to bring 6 full trailers, and then I think like 6 bales, or maybe it's 7 bales. Maybe it's 5 bales, I don't know. But basically, it's 6 full trailer loads and then 5 or 7 bales. It was an odd number. So back to the farm we go. Actually, we'll keep our worker off here. Let him do his thing, and we'll go check. MacDon is still not at the field, although it is right there. So we'll go ahead and turn him off. We'll finish this drive ourselves, and we'll get it set up, and the header set up, and get the worker lined out, and tell him what we want to do, and get him started mowing this alfalfa field. And I think after I get 2 alfalfa harvests off of here, I'm fairly certain I can get 2 alfalfa harvests off of here. I am going to I think I want to plow this field bigger. When we've got 20-ish acres of land here that we're not farming because the field is not plowed that big. Or because the field because it's not plowed. That's all. Make $300,000 on 120 acres. Divide that by 6, $350,000. Maybe we can bring up another $50,000. So we're gonna drop the old header down, turn first of the load. Okay, I got enough. call that unfolded. If you ask me, it's folding it, but whatever. What do I know? Oh, look at that beautiful alfalfa grass. Get our push plate plant on. Try to load this at the snap. Guess what I'm going to do? That's interesting about that machine. That machine. That's let's try something. 17 car. Off she goes. All right, we are off and rolling. We're gonna let the kid work. Check back in on him every now and then. Jump back in the tractor here. Grinding because we have got a lot of straw. So whatever. Let's just want to you guys know. Ooh, rolling in the stationary. Around stationary. We are loaded. Get your butts in the cab. Let's drive. All right, guys. Well, I got the worker harvesting the field. We've got a lot of back and forth trips to make to sell this straw. So I'm going to get this done, and I will check in with you guys when we're done selling straw. Interesting, guys. We're driving along. We're picking our second load of straw here, and we're cruising by here, and we see this lovely young lady. So I wonder if we can talk to her.
Oh, hi. You're Walter's grandkid, aren't you? I'm Katie. Nice to meet you.
Apparently we can.
Well, word travels fast in small towns, you know. And your grandpa was bragging. Let me welcome you to our small town. As I just said, I'm Katie. I took over my parents' farm 4 years ago, continuing the family business after traveling the world as one does. But I'll tell you all about that another time. So what can I do for you?
Well, Katie, I was wandering around getting the lay of the land.
That's good. I specialize in livestock. We got chickens, cows, sheep, pigs, horses, even bees. Also our recent additions, goats and water buffaloes. It's quite an eclectic ensemble of creatures, if I can say so myself. If you want to dip your toes into animal husbandry, come to me. I'm not only dealing with the livestock, I can also give you important advice. I've been working with animals all my life, you see. Even when traveling the world, I occupied myself with the local fauna. And I collected some stories on the way, if you're interested sometime. That and some myths and legends. Maybe I should start a podcast. Anyway, I'm sure you and I have got stuff to do, animals to feed and so on. So don't let me keep you. I'm sure we'll have time to talk again.
I hope so. Nice to meet you, Katie. $43,000 in silage, which is interesting. Now that those bales aren't straggling, we got a hell of a lot more money for them. We got almost $2,000 more than we did out of the last load. So guess we need to make sure we offload those bales the correct way. All right, well, here I go back to my back and forth. We'll check in on you guys when we get the straw sold. Third load of straw. We checked in on. Turns out we checked in on Fran while we were back at the farm to see how they were doing. I actually thought it was going to be her brother Rob that was there harvesting that, but apparently Rob has got himself a little gig helping old man Wheeler today. So he sent Fran over to make some money. So all right with me, good kid. Wish they maybe would have talked to me first. But, anyway, she's bumping right along. Had about a third of that field finished. We just dumped our third load of straw for $43,000 again. And as you can see, it started to snow. It's 36 degrees, so hopefully we won't get any accumulation because we really need to get that alfalfa bale. So the alfalfa is going to be silage. So frankly, it doesn't matter if we bale it wet. To be honest with you, it needs to be wet to ferment. So we're going to keep on trucking with the straw sales. We'll check back in with you shortly. Ain't pretty, but it's on there. And here we go off to sell the final load of straw. $235,000. We should net just about $50,000 for this one. It's got about 6 more bales. I think it's got 7 more bales than any load we've taken before. Dude, it's pretty pathetic. I just passed you driving a tractor pulling 615,000 liters of straw. Might want to step on it. There's a school bus pulling out in front of us. You gotta love that. So last trip down here, I about had a head-on collision with a school bus. To be quite honest with you, I can't help but feel partially responsible. Anyway, here we are off to sell the last load of straw. I'll check on you guys when we get to the animal dealer, and we'll sell this last load of straw. We'll shoot ourselves back, check on Fran over there. She ought to be well on her way to being done with that field. Well over half, certainly close to 3/4 done on that field. So we will check on her when we get back, and we'll get the baler loaded up, and we'll start knocking out some bales. And here we are, pulling in to sell off our final load. Afraid that one bale's going to fall off when we unstrap this. So I'm going to pull this all the way onto the sell point before I unstrap it, because I just don't think that one's going to hang on. Although it was hanging on there when we... Oh, look at that. Is it going to hang on? It is going to hang on. How do you like that? Slowly through here. There they go. $52,672 for that last load. Brings our total to $288,000, which gives us probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $260,000. Jump over and check our finances real quick. Turn this autosave off when I'm recording. So, finances, where are we at? $269,000 for sold bales. $248,000 in equipment purchases, so we made $19,000 more than our loan. And I knew I said I was going to pay that off in full, but I had a lot of time driving back and forth to think through that. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. Definitely going to pay some of it off. If we're rolling over the fiscal year, we may not have a choice but to run all that income into year one. And the investors just unfortunately aren't going to reap the benefits of roughly $800,000 in harvest income in our first year, which I got to tell you guys, knocking out at $800,000 in harvest income in the first year, never ever would have guessed that. Never would have guessed we'd rake in that much more. We'd bring in that much money in the first year. So hopefully this challenge isn't going to turn out to be too easy. I think I told you guys I started on this map because we're going to unfold the bale. Anyway, I told you guys I started on this map because $5 million is a chunk of change to start with, unless you're starting on this map. And you start with $5 million on this map, and our one field in our farmland cost us $3.5 million. So we did not have a crap ton of money to go. Oh, hold on, I figure out I need to reset the bale count here. We've got 51 bales in there. Alt X, keep you. I guess because of that. It is Alt X. That's no good because that brings up our recording, which is still recording, which is good. We're gonna have to go into the controls here. We do want to have a change. How do we reset that? Reset bell counter X. So let's reset the bell counter to Alt Q. How about that? I don't think that's mapped to anything. So we reset the bell counter to Alt Q. And that should let us reset it because Alt X is the default that brings up our recording window. So alright, Alt Q reset the bale counter. 51 total bales, which actually is not true. It's actually 207 total bales, but it's counting. So here we go. Where are we at? Pickup is lowered. Bale loader is on. It's centered up so I can see where I'm driving. Alright. There we go. I can see that bale. Turn the bale raffle on. How about that? Right. Alright, well, we're going to have a crap load of silage bales and one alfalfa grass bale. Although I can't imagine that's going to make a crap ton of difference. There it goes. Oh, yeah. This baler is the bee's knees, fellas.
It's been a crazy week without you. Baby steps, standing on my own 2 feet again, learning how to walk and see again. Been a spent by so slowly. I was turning to days, like I can breathe again. Set me free, set me free.
There it is. Empty baler, turn it off, raise it up, fold it up, back to the farm. We're going to drive this thing back to the farm. It is getting late in the day. We are going to jump in the house, get us a good night's sleep, jump back in tomorrow with a plan. All right, it's January on our humble little farm, and we have got some work to do. We've actually got a lot of work to do to close out year one here, close out this episode, take you guys through the financials. But like I said, it's January. It's a brisk January morning, so kind of going to go through. So we've got our silage on the field over there. You guys can see bales and bales and bales. Just, I think there's 210, 220 bales over there. We got to get all that picked up. We've got 722,000 liters of wheat to sell in there. And then we need to get that field fertilized so that we can get another full cutoff of it sometime around April. March or April. I'm not sure how the growth cycles are going to go through January and February, but I'd like to get a cutoff of that field, one more cutoff of that field before we plant it. So we're going to get busy. We're going to jump in the tractor over here. Like I said, we got a lot of work to do. Unfortunately, everything we have to do requires a tractor, and we only have one. So we're going to have to get a move on. So we're going to jump in the tractor here. We're going to jump in the old Fendt here and get it fired up. Not good. Damn truck we got won't hook up to the trailer. To the grain trailer. Hopefully it will hook up to the bale trailer. And we will use the tractor to deliver hay and the bale trailer to deliver wheat. Alright, so let's get the wheat loaded up here. So here we go. Round number one. I guess the good news here is, obviously we got to go down by the fuel station and we will get a load of fuel while we're there. But man, we're gonna have to figure something out for the. All right, we got all the bales picked up. We got the sprayer hooked up. We got the sprayer filled up, and we are about to kick this job off. We're down at the store again, and excuse me, down at the store again, and there's still a kid down there looking for work, so told him come on over, and I needed a field spray, so we're going to get him going on the field sprayer while we do a little work of our own. So one little update I'll show you here in just a second. Let me get this board kicked off here, this girl kicked off here. That's all good. Field load settings, 133 liters, all good. Simple math, yep. Chart course for us. Yeah, that's looking good. So pick that up. First waypoint, let it unfold. So you guys saw earlier we bought a truck. We bought us a little grain truck, and we came back and it would not hook up to the tipper wagon. So I hooked the tractor up to the tipper wagon, sent it on its way to deliver the first load of wheat to the brewery. Came back, jumped in the truck again, and the truck will not hook up to the bale trailer either. It would not hook up to the bale trailer, so we sold it. And we bought this piece. You guys can see here we are now the proud owners of this Mack truck and grain trailer, and it is rocking right on along. I'd like it to be a little faster, but the Mack truck just doesn't support a lot of horsepower. I think it's got 505 horsepower, and it's a pretty heavy duty trailer here that we're Holy smokes, guys, that took way longer than I expected it to. Specifically to sell that wheat. It took several hours in real time to sell that wheat. But here we are, it is February, and we are wrapping up year one of our mega debt to mega farm playthrough. So we got all our wheat sold, we got all our silage bales collected and stacked up here on the farm. We got the alfalfa field fertilized and ready for the next growth cycle. And we are ready to move on and close out year one. You may notice that we do not have the significant amount of money we expected to have after we sold that wheat. We sold about $530,000 worth of wheat. We started out with just about $290,000 in the bank. So we should have just a touch over $800,000, and we don't. And the reason why? There you have it, folks. So while we had the workers selling wheat, we were busy making some improvements on our farmyard. So I'm going to take you through this really quickly, just to show you what we got. Got a little bit of new equipment, but basically have a whole new farmyard. So let me get off of here, and let's take you guys through the farmyard. So first thing you see is we've got this big new equipment barn. Man, I really like this barn. I love the fact that it's got 3 pull-through bays in it. These little side bays are handy here for storing smaller equipment. You can see I don't have everything in here yet. I've got the seeder still sitting outside. We've got a diesel tank here now because it is a long ways to the nearest fuel station, so we don't want to have to do that. We got some lights on here that are going to make this look really nice when it gets dark. It's going to be well lit. You can see over here we've got some storage over here. This is our new hauler. So think I told you guys the truck that I bought at the beginning of January wouldn't hook up to any of the trailers, and the truck itself only had about 7,600 liters of capacity. So that wasn't going to cut it to haul 700,000 liters of wheat. So we picked this up a truck. We actually bought it used. I think we paid just about 120 grand for the whole rig, so not really bad at all. Obviously we made a lot of purchases here, so there's our barn. You guys can see over here. We'll mosey on over here. We have a workshop at the farm now, so any repairs we need to do on our tractors or any of our other equipment, we've got that shop right here on site. We do not have to drive all the way back to the store for the shop. Huh, I want my doors open. Well, that's not good. I want the cat here. So obviously this is the first time I've tried to open. Oh, you know what? I wonder if maybe the doors on this shop don't open. I don't think I've ever tried to open the doors on this shop, to be quite honest with you. The building may just be for decoration. I know the Midwestern shop, the doors on that open, and because the trigger is actually inside, but the trigger on this one's outside. So maybe the doors don't open. It doesn't really matter. We don't need to go in there, other than that's for our vehicle repairs. So I think you guys may have seen on the other side, we've got some filler. We got some filling silos. So got silos for everything we could need right now. We got a lime silo. We got a herbicide silo. We got a liquid fertilizer silo, and we got a seed silo. And speaking of our silos, you guys may notice that this is a different silo. And the reason for that is when I put that first silo down, I placed it pretty far back on the farmyard, because at the time I wasn't really sure where I was going to go. I had some different ideas about how the farmyard was going to look, but this is actually a 35-acre farmyard, which is way more space than we need for buildings and equipment right now. You can see just on this little piece of it, we have a significant amount of room here, and if we need to expand, we got a ton of room to do that still. So what we did was we took the back, maybe not quite 2/3 of this farmyard, and plowed it and turned it into a field. So we now have this, I'm not going to say massive, because compared to the other field, this is a postage stamp, but this is a fairly significant field. I mean, it's probably 20 acres in that neighborhood. Got some deep ruts in it so our auto drive route, when we started working on the farm, but we had the silo over here, we couldn't do anything with the silo until we sold all the wheat out of it. So auto drive route for our vehicles went through the new field, but that's all right, because there's nothing in the field. It's just been plowed into a field. You guys can see it still thinks it's meadow, although it will recognize it as a field for the AI and the auto drive and in the course play. So anyway, that's kind of the changes to the farm. So not a huge operation yet, but it's going to continue to grow. But we're not storing our equipment outside now. We got a nice, comfortable place to sleep. So we can do that. Let's truck it on over to the farmhouse, and I'll give you guys a quick tour of the farmhouse. So I sold the little trailer house, put this big, nice new farmhouse up, and this lovely farmhouse that you see over here was actually $10,000 cheaper than that trailer house. Yeah, go figure that one. But what can you do? Is in the game. I'm pretty sure this farmhouse is part of the Juotca Flats map mod, because I haven't seen this farmhouse on every other map I've played. The little house trailer has been the cheapest farmhouse by far, but this one's actually $45,000. There's actually a house in there for $35,000. I actually set it down first, and it didn't have a sleep trigger on the porch, which confused me. And then I set this one down, and it didn't have a sleep trigger. And then it dawned on me that some of these houses you can actually enter, and this is one of them. So you guys can see, here's the inside of our farmhouse. Nice little digs here. And we truck it back here. Here's one bedroom, and then over here is the master bedroom and the sleep trigger. So you guys will see this actually does work. Well, it's supposed to work. It worked a minute ago. There it goes. So we're not going to sleep because we're not ready to not ready to sleep yet. But anyway, really quick tour of the farmhouse. Really neat. I like these farmhouses you can go in, and like I said, it's only $45,000. I'm certain probably the $35,000 house had a sleep trigger inside it too. I just didn't look at it. Then after I set that one down, I thought about switching them out, but I thought, you know what? I like this house. I like the way it looks. So I'm just going to leave it. You can see we got some Halloween decorations out here. You got to love that. Well, I don't know. We got some Halloween decorations. We got some snowmen. I don't know. We got a hodgepodge of decorations going on there. You guys can see we threw up some trees on the farmyard because I like to have some trees on my farmyard. Not an elaborate farmyard by any means. Still very utilitarian, very functional. But it's going to keep our building, keep our equipment out of the rain when I get it all put in the building. The next thing I will do, and I probably will do that before you guys see us again, is, well, I probably won't do that until I sell all this stuff because I'll remove it. But we're going to put a bale storage barn over here. So I've been looking at bale storage barn mods. I'm not exactly sure which one I'm going to end up. I don't really like the look of the one in the base game, so probably won't use it unless I just can't find anything else that I'm happy with. But anyway, that's that. So we are going to close out February. Next time you see the farm, it's going to be March. We're going to jump over to our finances and take you guys through the year one finances real quick, and then we're going to wrap up year one. We're going to wrap up episode 1. We'll move on to episode 2, and we'll start episode 2 with kind of a plan for what we're going to do, what we're going to plant, how we're going to rotate crops, and all of that. So hope you guys enjoyed episode 1 of my first playthrough. Let me know what you think. Like I said, you're not going to hear me pushing you guys for the likes and subscribes and all that, because I'm not a content creator. I'm not making any money from this, and I just want people to watch and enjoy. I'm not really trying to grow a channel, at least not yet. Who knows where this goes, and I may decide, hey man, I got some viewers and people seem to like this, and maybe I will try to grow the channel, and it may turn out that no, nobody wants to watch. Again, I told you guys I'm not a content creator. I'm just a jackass with a webcam and a microphone that enjoys the engagement that I get from making these videos. So if they're popular. If they're not, they're not. I'm going to keep doing them because I enjoy it and it keeps me engaged in this game, and I really like this game. So anyway, appreciate it. We will catch everyone on episode 2. All right, folks, here's our last wrap up for the year 1 of the Mega Debt to Mega Farm playthrough that I'm doing. So thought we'd take a minute to just go over our financials really quick here so you guys can see here on the screen what we got for our year 1 financials. Kind of go over the outline a little bit. You guys know we started with $5 million. We put out 1,000 available shares. We actually sold 500 of those shares for $10,000 a piece, which gave us our starting capital of $5 million. So we'll have to pay some dividends annually. Because 50% of the farm is owned, we'll be paying out 50% of our profits as dividends. Option to buy back the shares after 5 years at either the current share value or $15,000 per share, whichever is greater. That'll make our share buyback cost about $15 million. And we have to buy the shares back within 15 years or liquidate. So they become available to buy after 5 years. We'll basically have 10 years to pay out that $15 million and buy the shares back. So real quick, in year 1, actually a pretty good year, guys, a really good year. In fact, really brought in more money than I expected to bring in year 1. So we'll just take it real quick here. We started at $5 million. So purchased land for $4.255 million. We bought new vehicles of $1.143 million. Our construction cost was $695,000. We paid out $23,000 in wages to our workers this year. Paid a penalty of $8,250 because we missed our finance payments in December because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I clicked advance time and didn't have money in my account to cover the payments. So incurred that little bit of a cost. Cost us $5,300 to run our vehicles. We paid $1,666 in loan interest payments. Spent $1,359 on fuels, $1,300 on consumable, which would be seeds and fertilizer and stuff like that. $1,198 on property maintenance. So total expenses for the year $6.1 million. So sold vehicles $182,000. That was just some things that we changed around. Sold buildings $254,000. Those are offsetting a lot of our construction costs because those were buildings that were bought and sold and basically just net to zero. So as far as our harvest, we sold $269,000 worth of straw bales in year one. So one wheat harvest off of that one field netted us $269,000 in straw, $548,000 in sales for wheat. So we netted $817,000 in income for the year, which is pretty impressive, to be honest with you, for the first year off of that year one. And then we had $193,000 in miscellaneous expenses, which I don't even really know that I know what all goes into that. I had to go back and track that through the video, but that netted us an income for the year, total income of $1.4 million. Farm lost $4.6 million for the year, almost $4.7 million for the year. No profit, so we're not paying out any dividend, although I do expect to pay out a dividend next year, so that should keep our investors pretty happy. No farm profit for the year. And then you guys can see down here at the bottom, our operating cash at the end of the year was $310,000, so that's what we closed out the year with. So quick update on the farm valuation. So our land assets are $4.2 million, exactly what we paid for them. $402,000 in buildings. That's what they would be worth if we turn around and sold them all right now. Our vehicle assets are $1.4 million. Again, that's what if we turn around and sold them right now, which makes our total farm value $5.986 million. Which gives us total farm value or a calculated share price, which is basically just the value of the farm divided by the number of total shares, $5,986,000. So, like I said, all in all, not a bad year. Starting out year two with $310,000. Also starting out with a pile of silage bales on the farm. So that's going to probably net us another $450,000, $500,000 when we sell those. So actually not in bad shape at all. Obviously, a lot of these expenses are going to go away. The vehicle expense will probably stay somewhere in there because we still need a lot of vehicles. We need a second combine. We need a second tractor. For sure, if we're gonna farm on the scale that we're looking to farm. But obviously, the land purchase won't be a significant expense at this point. So if you take away the land purchase, we actually only would have lost about $400,000 this year. But also you have to account for the construction costs, which again, a lot of the construction cost was the farmyard that we built. So we won't have that going forward. So if you take those two, which is $4.95 million, we actually would have made a profit of between $200,000 and $300,000 in year one, which would have been fantastic. But we didn't. So no payout to the investors this year, leaving with $310,000 cash, and that's where we're going to stand for year two. So we'll end this video here, and we will catch you guys in year two and continue this quest.